Right, before we get out there and get muddy, have a quick chat, because it's a rare occasion when we get everyone in the car together. It's a shame, because sometimes I think as we get older, we spend less time together as a family. I do think about that more and more now, especially with Anya applying to universities.
Yeah, she's 18. She's going to be 18 this year.
Will you miss her when she goes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I was just thinking about like what life is like, or what life would have been like if I hadn't had 4 daughters. I wouldn't even know where to start.
You worry about your children, regardless of their sex and regardless of their age, trust me. It never stops. It never stops.
I was waiting for that to happen. Like, where is that point where I can stop worrying about them?
Never.
But it doesn't seem to happen.
No.
What would you change, girls, if you could change anything about our family?
I would change.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
I would like you to actually spend more time playing than working.
Yeah, do you know what? I think I feel very guilty about that sometimes. And it's frustrating for me, because I would love to play all day.
Life can just change on a sixpence, as they say.
Yeah.
Not that sixpences are there anymore, but you know, it's still an expression.
So, Ottie, what's it like being the youngest of the 4 girls? I mean, do you learn from your older sisters? Do you think of yourself as the youngest? How does it work?
It's like if Delilah does something, I'm really intrigued by that, and I want to do the same. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. But then Delilah helps me out, and then I learn from her, and then I can like do it all by myself.
Your older sister is 17, your middle sister is 14, and then you guys are 9. So it's quite a big age difference, but do you think you still get to spend the time that you want to spend with them?
Sort of, because they're like teenagers and adults and stuff, and they have important things to do, and we don't really get that much time, except when Anya's not working, Moogie's not at school. But when we do eat dinner and we're all there, we do get to have a family again with them.
So when I was 9 years old, which was a very, very long time ago now, I had a lovely, happy childhood with my brother and my parents, but it was so different from you two and Anya and Marnie's. We never did things, for example, we never went out to a pub for lunch on a Sunday like you do as a treat, ever. And my father didn't spend time with us. He was very kind, very nice man, but he didn't do things with us, ever, like Dada does with you.
Why do you think that was?
I just think that my parents, well, of course they were parents after the Second World War. I think they just were people were very traditional, and they didn't have expectations,
Right.
I don't think.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the relationship where I could sit and chat to them about anything.
No.
They were of a completely far removed generation. And what's really important to remember, which is what I always did with my husband, is that we met each other first before we had children, and therefore you've got to want to spend time with your partner.
Yeah. I think that at the moment we're so fraught with bringing you guys up, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but think about how much energy we spend chasing you around the house, clearing up, making the meals, organising holidays, doing schools, all that kind of stuff. It does mean that Mummy and I don't get to spend as much time together as we want to. And that's not your fault, that's
life.
Family life, yeah.
That's being a parent.
But I need to make more time.
No, just to remember that one day you'll be looking at each other, and if you can share new adventures and not all interests, you need time apart from your partner, but that's what's really important.
Yeah.
Because some parents lose themselves to such a degree with their children these days that you sort of think, gosh, that seems more important than the partner that they met to have the children with.
I do worry that I think when that day comes, I think I'm going to struggle with it more than Clement.
Oh yes,
I really do think I am.
Definitely you are.
I'm gonna really struggle with that transition.
But other things come into your life that you can't predict. I mean, you know, my life has completely changed, particularly since I was widowed, and yet I've I couldn't have told you when I was widowed that I'd have eventually have such an interesting but different life now.
Have you thought about what you might do when you grow up?
Yeah, I have, because I like helping other people, so I'm thinking of engineering to help the human body, like those robotic legs for people.
Like a bioengineer?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And what about you, Delilah? Have
I
you
would
thought?
like to be someone who's really sporty, like a footballer, a runner, a hockey player.
My biggest thing for you growing up is that you do what keeps you interested and what you have a passion for.
Such a privilege to want to get up in the morning and go to work, as opposed to having to go to work because we all have to earn money.
When you were at school then, did you have aspirations to do a certain job in the future?
Yeah.
So what did you want to do?
Really what I wanted to do was train to be a nurse at Great Ormond Street.
Oh, wow.
But I couldn't pass my maths, what's now called GCSE.
Always a challenge.
I'm really good at it.
I know, I've got 4 granddaughters and they're all good at maths, and yet you've all inherited that from Dada, luckily.
Jude, not to be morbid, but how would you want to be remembered?
I would like my grandchildren to think we had a lovely Gaga who loved us and spent time with us. Yeah, it's a great relationship and it's such a privilege. And for those who aren't lucky enough to have grandchildren, it's such a loss. You'll know one day when you're as old as Gaga is now, which you can't imagine, obviously, because you're 9 and I'm 74, that when they tell you all through your life, oh, time goes so quickly, you won't believe anybody. And it's so true. Yeah. It is so true. It goes in a blink of an eye.
Yeah. If you closed your eyes and you're the happiest you could be, try and describe where you are or what it is that you're doing. What makes you tick?
I think it's like when we're all playing together, having fun, laughing.
You ever had a question that you wanted to ask either me or Gaga that you've never asked?
What was your favourite TV show?
That's lovely.
No, because
This is important stuff.
because you didn't have like Netflix or
No.
anything else.
How did I grow up without Netflix?